we behaving bad. We behaving bad. Fast one, slow one, we behaving bad. We behaving bad.
Here we go, huh?
Fast one, slow one, we behaving bad.
Yo, when I was young, man, my dad had a house. I catch a contact and talk like Eka Mouse. Go to school, act like I'm pulling out. Kinda funny, cause I used to freak my teachers out. Like, dang, dang, diddy, dang, dang. Sin, so much me go teach you about. Piece of the one black Johnny and out. In the club, everybody on Sinatra. Look around, everybody on Sinatra. I ain't talking about they call. I'm talking about and go ha 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 ha. I mean, just go bonkers, make the young girls wild. And then go, let's make the smile. They don't need. Binoculars make wanna pull out. They
And now, your Indiana Pacers starting lineup. At the shooting guard position, standing 6'5", number 2.
Hi again, we welcome you to our broadcast of the NBA playoffs here on 2K Sports. This series right now lopsided 3-zip. Can a comeback attempt be made? Or will we see a team advance to the finals? Here we go. We'll see the Indiana Pacers defending home turf in the Eastern Conference. And they're looking forward to some production from Roy Hibbert now that he's back.
Evan, it's clear they played poorly without him, but now that he's back, they find themselves still in a tough spot. It could be a case of it being too little, too late.
All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. On the floor for Detroit, Monroe and Drummond there inside. Jennings out there with the great one, and it's Butler in at the 3. Here's the great one, Paul George making his last shot. The shot's good from the great one.
He can become a weapon for them if he gets going early from long range.
Detroit on D. It's a 3-point game. They come into this game following a tremendous win on Wednesday.
It was an emphatic win for them, especially considering that it was on the road. No question, by the way, that it was their offense that carried.
Steve, I love the way they attacked at every opportunity. They never were on their heels, and eventually that allowed them to pull away.
Here's Drummond, and he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a 3-point play.
Very nice pickup of the offensive rebound. And once he gets his hands on it, you know it's going back up and back in.
Detroit shooting their first free throw tonight. Just around a minute and a half into the first quarter. Hill with it. Stuckey setting the pick for Hill. West a screen on Jennings. Shot clock at 6. Hill drives in. Hibbert, good, and it's Hill picking up the assist.
Well, I like the way he orchestrated in tight that time, fellas.
Pistons have gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. The pass to the great one. From deep, and another 3 for Detroit.
Well, I'm not necessarily a big fan of him shooting that shot, but they did give him the space.
Well, Doris, an interesting game. Moments ago, you had a chance to talk with head coach Frank Vogel. What do you have to say?
I asked him if this team still believed that they can come back in this series, and he told me absolutely. The guys know we're in a hole, but we have against the wall before. The pressure is on them now to close us out. We can just go, play our game, and try to get back in this series. We'll watch and see that happen, guys.
Thanks, Doris. They grabbed their own miss. Second shot opportunity. Good. The Great Ones got 10 points.
You know, he's showing some kind of a killer instinct this quarter, trying to stretch this lead out.
Hill drives in. Out to Stuckey. Inside to Hibbert. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession. Here are this postseason's dead-eye shooters. These guys have knocked down a ton of shots from downtown. While you look at the Great One, he's absolutely deadly from outside. Detroit leading by 7. For the 3. Here's Monroe. Roy Hibbert with the rebound. And here's Indiana. Hill kicks to George. Bangs home the trifecta. George has got 5 points so far.
A good open look, and he splashes home the 3.
Jennings passes to the Great One. For 3. Can't get it to go. Excellent D there from Hill. Indiana's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Stuckey outside. West setting the pick for Stuckey. Shoots from the line. Off the left rim and out.
That's one he knows he should have made.
Jennings passes to the Great One. The shot's good. Jennings making the play. And it's 13 points for the Great One.
The more touches he gets, the more this lead will grow. He has just been unconscious this quarter.
West setting the pick for Stuckey. He got an advantage there off the pick and took it right in.
You know, the defense didn't exactly try to fight around that screen, and that's why it's an easy basket.
So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Mahaney's checked in for Hibbert. Scola comes in for David West. C.J. Miles, he's checked in for Rodney Stuckey. And it's Watson in for Hill. So Detroit going with an almost entire new group here. Spates checked in for Drummond. Smith comes in for Greg Monroe. Kyle Singler's checked in for Karan Butler. And DJ Augustine subbed in for Brandon Jennings.
They've made one basket after another since getting this game started, and you wonder, is the blowout in store?
Too early to say that and go there, Steve, but it has been pretty ugly so far.
Pacers trail by 10. Now Watson. On the wing, George. He kicks to Miles. And again, it's the Pacers from deep.
Gotta love the use of the bounce pass there. Perfect feed.
There's 45 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Augustine passes to the Great One. He's feeling it, and the jumper falls for him. The Great One's got 20.
Well, they've settled into their offense very quickly here today.
Yeah, they're zoned in, making the most out of their possessions here.
Watson kicks to George. Dishes it to Miles. Back to George. It's hauled in by Smith. Now here is Augustine. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. The shot's good from the Great One.
Well, they had a pretty good grasp of the game plan coming into this one. That's been very apparent.
And anytime a team gets a double-digit lead in the first quarter, Steve, you could be headed for blowout city.
And after just 1 quarter of play, a double-digit differential on the scoreboard. Pistons lead by 12. And back in a moment as we'll get underway with quarter number 2.
Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. Chris Paul and the Los Angeles Clippers go up against Tim Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs next Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific.
Welcome back to our coverage of the NBA Eastern Conference Final as we get things started once again. And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for the Pistons.
Anytime getting into a groove out there, they're dialed in from long range.
They've been distributing the ball really well tonight, too. I mean, a decent number of assists so far for them.
Here are the 5 Detroit has to start the second quarter. The Great One in a 2-guard. Smith out there with Maurice Spates. Then there's DJ Augustine. And it's Singler in at the 3, the small forward. Indiana shooting their first free throws of the night. That free throw missing. Rodney Stuckey's checked in for George. And Detroit with a change here, too. Monroe's checked in for Maurice Spates. And that trip coming up empty, missing both. And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, over to you.
Hey guys, the great one in their last game against the Pacers was just a man on a mission. He ended with 47 points, and he got there with his usual way. Just an impressive barrage of threes. Absolutely amazing numbers from him in what was truly a memorable performance. For him and for us, Kevin.
Thanks, Doris, for revisiting what was an astounding performance, Clark.
It clearly was one of those games that when we look back on his career, this game will be right there among the best ever that he's played.
Well, he was in the zone from the outset. It was just one of those games where he was feeling it. Everything was going his way, and he attacked, and that's what I like. Once he knew it was his night, he just attacked relentlessly. Yeah, the referee is all over that one.
No doubt about it. Clearly a foul. Nothing to argue about there.
The Pacers shooting their third and fourth free throw attempts of the game. No good on the free throw.
Nice shooting.
So Detroit going with an almost been now for Indiana. Luis Scola, he's checked in for Hibbert. West comes in for Mahinmi. George is checked in for C.J. Miles. And it's Watson in for Rodney Stuckey. Then for the Pistons, Spates checked in for Drummond. Smith comes in for Greg Monroe. And the great one subbed in for Caron Butler. West can't hit.
Great defense in the paint there, making it tough on the offense.
That's what he brings, a presence. I mean, you saw it on that miss. Once again, the defense letting him get open at the three-point line. That's a major mental mistake there. You've got to get to the shooter.
Now, here is Hill. The feed to George. And here's Watson. Back to George. Tries it from the top of the key, and the jumper falls for him. George has got his third bucket of the night.
Man, a pleasure to watch him work at that end of the floor.
Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. No good from the great one. Pacers trail by 7. West outside. Spates against Scola. Another shot, and the layup good by West. West has got 7.
That's some tenacity inside, battling for the second chance points.
Here's the great one. What a play! Simply drains it in at the buzzer.
And that is simply a dagger on the way to the locker room. That three-pointer feels like a six-pointer coming when it did right at the end of the half.
And that does it for the first half of play. Pistons ahead, leading by 8. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Kevin, thank you. Roy, I know you have just a couple seconds, but in a nutshell, what's going to be your approach going into the second half?
Well, we're just going to make sure we keep them off the board and keep them out of transition.
Thank you, Roy. Kevin, over to you.
Thank you, Doris.
Okay, guys, everybody pay close attention to what I've got to say, because I want to see us close out this series right here, right now, tonight. For the most part, we played an intelligent first half. Our passing has been crisp. We haven't given the ball away, and that's big, because we can't afford turnovers. Those will kill us. I'll give you a compliment, though. The ball movement's been excellent. Love how many buckets we're getting off assists. And guys, I don't want too many of us under the glass at the defensive end. I want to be sure that we always have at least a couple of guys getting up court, ready to receive the outlet pass and get an easy bucket on the break. Let's not mess around. We got a chance to lock this series up right here. Now let's do it.
Welcome back to Game 4 as we get ready to start things up again. It's been one outstanding game from the great one.
Boy, he put on a show from the three-point line in the first half, didn't he? We'll see if the halftime break had any cooling effect on him.
Yeah, we'll soon find out, because I guarantee they're going to keep feeding it to him behind the arc until he does cool off.
So here is Indiana, trailing here by 8. Down low, Weston Hibbert. Rodney Stuckey out there with George Hill. And it's George in at the 3 spot. That's the Pacers 5. Passes it to Hill. Shot clock at 5. Hibbert with a screen on Jennings. Shot off the screen, and he gets it to go. Hill's got the first field goal of the second half for the Pacers.
They can't afford to give him that kind of look.
Well, it came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you got to fight over the top of that.
No good from the great one. The Pacers shooting has been fun to watch in this game. They're at 57%. Hill dishes to Hibbert. Buries it down low. Hibbert's got 10. And Detroit has possession. Jennings passes to the great one. Fires the 3, and that one's good. And the Pistons lead by 7.
That's 3 in a row, guys. 3 three-pointers consecutively. These guys are just raining in shots.
Yeah, the defenders can't be as soft as they've been on the perimeter there.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Over that last break, Kevin, I got a chance to hear what Stan Van Gundy said to the team. He'd like them to concentrate on their transition game, to keep the tempo fast and put pressure on the defense in the open court. Another part of what he said to them centered on his desire to see them shooting the ball every opportunity that presents itself. He said, fire away, guys. You've got the green light. Those could prove to be crucial changes to their strategy with this game getting ready to enter the stretch drive, Kevin.
All right, Doris. And that one's good by Butler.
And they've set up countless buckets off assists. That's a huge part of what they've been doing here today.
A lot of dime dropping going on out there, Steve.
Stuckey setting the pick for Hill. He feeds it to Stuckey. Pass to George. 6 on the shot clock. Butler with the block. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession. Mahaney's checked in for Indiana. And a switcher also for Detroit. Augustine's checked in. Pass to the great one. For the 3. Here's Monroe. And he battles for the ball and gets the second chance bucket. Monroe's got his first points of the night.
Such a solid performance for them inside. Their rebounding has been terrific.
Yeah, that's just one of the few things that have gone their way today.
Hibbert with a screen for Stuckey. Pacers have shot 4 of 7 as a team from the line tonight. Several misses early. He's off on the first. The Pacers making a change here. Miles is checked in. Miles Singler, he's checked in for Detroit. And he sinks the second. Detroit with the ball. 10-point lead. And Augustine kicks to Monroe. And that one's good. Monroe's got 4 points now in the quarter.
You know, it's really hard not to notice the difference in the passing of these two teams today.
Yeah, look at the discrepancy in the assist column between these two teams.
Here's Stuckey. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass.
The defense has not been able to keep the ball out of the paint at that end of the floor.
Boy, I'd like to know how many of their attempts have come from inside 5 feet. It seems like everything is right at the rim.
The shot's good from the great one.
It seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
Yeah, they're making the right play, they're working together, and they're just looking for the best shot they can every possession.
Hibbert dishes to Stuckey. Kicks it to Miles. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Stuckey into the lane. It's Drummond with the rebound. Drummond's got 6 rebounds here tonight. Here's Singler. And good. Coming in on the assist by DJ Augustine. Augustine's got 3 assists in the game. Stuckey passes to Hibbert. Back to Stuckey. Now the dish to George. Stuckey outside. Goes up with a strike, and that's good for 2. Stuckey's got 9.
And they have to mix it up defensively. That was just too easy.
Augustine passes to the great one. From outside the arc, the Pacers pull it in. There's a good screen. And George, here we go. That's good. 9 points in the game so far.
The mid-range jumper becomes a pretty high percentage shot for him when he has that kind of space.
And some changes here for the Pacers. Scola comes in for Roy Hibbert. And it's Watson in for C.J. Miles. Then for the Pistons, Spates checked in for Andre Drummond. And it's Josh Smith in for Greg Monroe. Goes up on the wing, and there's the bucket from the Great One. The Great One's got 42 in the game.
Yeah, guys, it's his consistent shooting that's really helped get his team into a position they're in right now.
Watson kicks to George. In the corner, Stuckey with it. Back to George. Launches a three. Singler with the rebound.
Boy, but he was close, Kevin, to making the defense pay for lackadaisical coverage there.
Yeah, he had a really good look. I mean, he'll knock that down more often than not.
Watson dishes to George. It's good, and Watson picking up the assist. And that's 11 points for Paul George. Augustine passes to the Great One. It's good from long range. And the Pistons lead by 14.
They are killing them with that three-point shot here in the second half.
Well, the defense fully stretched out trying to stop that shot and still not able to get it done.
Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Pistons lead by 14. And we're coming right back. Be sure to stay with us as we get started for the fourth quarter. And now we present our State Farm assist of the game. With 5 total assists in the game, we've seen some great passing tonight from Hill.
And his passing ability is why they make sure the offense runs through him on a regular basis. Great assists like the one we just saw.
Detroit leading by 14. On the court for the Pistons, the Great One in its shooting guard. Maurice Spates out there with Smith, and it's Caron Butler. And it's Jennings in at the 1.
That is a pretty finish. The defense did all they could there, but he just outwilled them.
And Indiana shooting has been fun to watch in this game. They're at 57%. Picked by West. And George. Oh!
Look out!
Even when they're down, he's still looking to do the spectacular. And he pulled it off.
Well, maybe this is the best time to do it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, now's when they need a little spark anyway.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pacers will take it.
Such a careless pass. You've got to keep your head in the game here.
Andre Drummond's checked in for Detroit. Pacers trail by 14. Hill kicks it to West. Rebound, Detroit. Smith's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Pulls up on the wing. That's short off the rim.
And that's a shot he had to take.
For sure, it was a good decision, just poor execution.
Plenty of space. And Watson with the basket on the assist by George. Pistons leading by 12. Jennings kicks to Butler. Here's the Great One, and he's good on the 3-ball. The Great One's got 48.
Just seems like they've given up far too many points from the 3-point shot today. A lot of open looks out there.
I agree, Steve. The defensive rotations have been abysmal.
Roy Hibbert's checked in for Luis Scola. And a switcher also for Detroit. Greg Monroe. He's checked in for Smith. Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Kevin, I was able to hear the advice Frank Vogel gave to his team during that last break. He didn't exactly take it easy on them, saying, how much do you want it? Don't tell me, show me out there. We have to play better. We have to play harder if we're going to come back. Guys?
Jennings passes to the Great One. The 9-foot shot bounces high off the rim and drops. The Great One's got 50 points.
He's doing it all for them right now on the offensive side. No matter what the defense has done, they haven't been able to find an answer to stop him. And he's had an answer for every defense he's seen.
Hill dishes to George. Here's Hibbert. Rebound by Greg Monroe. Monroe's got 6 rebounds in the game. Here's the Great One, and Detroit again with the bucket.
His work at the offensive end has been phenomenal. Maybe reason number 1, they're ahead.
To the middle, here's Watson, and the shot is good.
It makes it so easy for your teammate when you can lead him with a pass like that one.
In a moment now to quickly take a look at the offensive approach for the Pistons.
Well, the great passing we saw in the first half has carried right over into the second.
They've really been on fire from beyond the arc tonight, too. I mean, a lot of their points have come from out there.
Pistons leading by 14. There's the pass to the great one. And Hill over to help. No good from the great one.
You know, when the shot's not there for you, you've just got to recognize it and move the ball on.
Yeah, I think he had tunnel vision right there. His only thought was to shoot it, no matter what else was going on. Good game for Hibbert. He's got 10 points and 1 assist.
Rodney Stuckey's checked in for the Pacers.
At the line for 2.
Good on the second free throw. Here's the great one. And they call the 8-second violation. Too much time getting it up court.
Well, the first half, he was flawless when it came to handling the ball, but that has not been the case here since halftime.
Here's Stuckey. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Way to play in attack mode and get inside.
And, you know, if you're on defense and you're going to foul, make sure it's a good one. They did, preventing the and one.
At the line for 2.
He doesn't get the second one. Pistons leading by 12. Here's the great one. That falls. Great assist by Brandon Jennings. Jennings has got his 6th assist on the night. For Indiana, they've gotten 4 of their 6 shots to fall so far here in the 4th. A pretty nice efficiency there. Misses off the right iron.
What was the defense doing there? I mean, he is not the guy to give an open look to, and yet they got away with it.
And the whistle blows, and it's going to be an over-the-back call here.
It's his 4th foul, and I'm sure he picked it up a little earlier than he would have liked.
The Pacers shooting 57% in this 4th quarter. Hibbert with a screen on Jennings. George takes a 2-pointer. Puts up the baby hook. It's good, and the Pistons lead cut down to 12 on the bucket from West. Feeds it to Butler. From outside, off the mark.
Boy, even though he missed, you can't give up that kind of a look very often.
Yeah, they're lucky that they didn't get burned on that one.
Hill kicks to George. Clock at 6. Right side, George. No good off the back of the rim, and a missed late.
It has not been an easy quarter for him, at least offensively speaking.
The great one. From outside, off the mark. Pacers trail by 12. Picked by West. Stuckey kicks it to West. Rebounded by the Pistons. 17 points was their biggest margin.
More often than not today, those shots have not dropped for him. Well, not much more you can say now. It's the end of the line for one team and a hard-fought, well-deserved trip to the NBA Finals for the Pistons.
Looks that way, Steve. And Clark, what an effort in the transition game we've seen tonight from these guys. Really pushed the ball, and I think in doing so created a lot of pressure on the defense.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, they definitely had a huge edge, and that's in their DNA, to push the pace and to apply pressure from an offensive standpoint. When they run the ball and dictate the flow of the offense like we've seen here, these are exactly the kind of games they can play.
That's fun basketball to watch,
It sure is. It sure is.
Well, you look back at this one, and what an amazing performance this has been for the great one. He was doing everything right, and the points seemed to come in bunches. He definitely had the hot hand.
Stuckey kicks to George. Back to Stuckey. Misses there. And so the Detroit Pistons win the series and will move on.
And you can see the elation on their faces. I mean, not just happiness, but pure excitement and joy to be headed to the NBA Finals.
A tremendous opportunity now, just 4 wins away from a championship.
And then, guys, tonight, a time to celebrate, enjoy the win, and then tomorrow it's back to the practice court, into the film room, and time to prepare for what's ahead. But what a moment tonight, and a great time for this franchise.
And they'll represent the East in a final series that's mere days away. And that about wraps it up for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, and the whole crew from 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan saying so long and thanks for watching the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. Now let's take a look at the Jordan Player of the Game.
Hey, for real, what up, man?
What up, man?
Hey, I really dig your stuff, man. Much love and respect.
Likewise, you really been turning it up lately, making a name for yourself. Caught my attention for sure. Consider me a fan.
Oh, thanks, man. But, you know, I just got to keep working, for real.
That's it. Work and work and work some more. Do it long enough, you can make anything happen.
Yeah, that's right, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming to the game, man.
You know
Maybe
it.
we'll catch up.
Hey, you ever need anything, let me know.
Say word, man. Appreciate you.
Yo, I go by the name of Pharrell from the Neptunes, and I just want to let y'all know
I'm your pusher.
The world is about to feel something that they never felt before. Come on.
From ghetto to ghetto. Ghetto, the backyard, the yard, I sell it whip on whip, and soft to hard, I'm the neighborhood pusher, call me subwoofer, cause I pump bass like that, Jack, on or off the track, I'm heavy cuz, ball to your fathers, you can duck to the Fetty Gov, sorry my love, but I'm seeing through these eyes, Benz convoys with the wagon on the side, only big boys keep deuces on the ride, Gucci Chuck Taylor with the dragon on the side, man, I make a buck, why scram, I'm trying to show y'all who the I am. The Jews is flirting me if I'm hurting. Legend in 2 games like I'm Pee Wee Kirkland. Platinum on the block with consistent hits. While Pharrell keep talking this music. Patty cake, I'm the baker's man. I bake them cakes as fast as I can. And you can tell by how my bread stack up. Then disguise it as rap so the feds back up. Watch it, like my whip, like my chick. Doing a $1.6 with me in the cockpit. Grinding, cousin, I got 4 dozen, even 11.5. If I see you, keep it coming. In my weight, that's just as heavy as my name. So much dough, I can't swear I won't change. Excuse me if my wealth got me full of myself. Cocky, something that I just can't help. Especially when them 20s is spinning like windmills. And the ice 32 below minus the wind chill. Filthy, the word that best defines me. I'm just grinding, man. Y'all never mind me. keep in a line in. Better stay in line when you see it like me shining. Grinding, you know what I keep in a line in. Better stay in line when you see it like me shining.
My grind's about family, never been about fame. Some days I wasn't able, there was always 4.5, or get you in the game. Anything less is just a shame. Guess the way my watch got blue chips in the face. With 2 tips, whoever gets in the way. Not to mention the hideaway that rests by the lake. Consider my raw demeanor the icing on the cake.
I'm like a cripple, balance weight through the hood. Kids call me Mr. Sniffles. Other hand on my, as if I was Slick Rick. My aim is still an issue. Lose your soul in whichever palm I'm holding. One will leave you frozen, the other nodding and dozing. I'm grinding, Jack. I keep in a line in. Better stay in line when you see it like me shining. Grinding, you know what I keep in a line in. Better stay in line when you see it like me shining.
Bust the rhymes, y'all. Word mother, y'all. Check it out, y'all. Just sing to the left, sing to the right. Make it feel good, make it feel alright. One time, feel good, yeah, y'all. Bust the rhymes in the place, y'all. Nigga, you feel real good, y'all. Flip Moses squad in the place, y'all. Buck wild to all of my who don't care. Floss like a bunch of young black millionaires. Making you run, me and my stacking my ones. Floss a little, invest up in the mutual fund. Blowing the horn, a sense of every day I was born. Never dream I see it landscaping my lawn. Dangerous, be accurate. Have to get the flow be so immaculate. Hey yo, I